Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Franklin from the Money Code Academy, and I'm here to help you excel in your financial work so that you can achieve financial freedom. Now, have you been in that situation where you start thinking, am I on track in my finances? Am I in the right path? Well, if you have been there, I want to say you are not alone. There are lots of people who have found themselves in this path and they don't know what to do. So on the basis of that, I decided to share with you today on what I titled 10 signs that you are not working towards financial fitness. Now, the idea of this video is to help you to identify those things that you are doing that will not help you to achieve financial freedom. Now, if today is your first time of coming to this channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe and smash the bell button so that anytime I post a new content, you'll be the first to receive it. Now, the first sign that I wrote down here is not keeping track of your income and expenses. Over the years, I've come across a lot of people, they just spend money as they earn, they are spending, but they are not keeping track. They are not taking record of what is going out of their monthly expenses. So at the end of the day, you find them unable to give account for whatever it is that they have received or spent in that month. That is not a good habit at all. If you want to walk in the right path, you want to walk towards financial fitness, you must make a conscious decision to start taking stock or start keeping records of your expenses. For some people, they might say, oh, this is difficult, but trust me, it is not difficult. If you set your heart to it, it will go a long way to help you. At least to a great extent, you will come to that place where you are able to determine your monthly expenses and all. So the first sign is not keeping track of your income and expenses. The second sign that you are not working towards financial fitness is when your liabilities are more than your assets. Now, for those of you who don't know what a liability is and what an asset is, a liability is those things that takes money from you. And then an asset is those things that helps you to make profit or to save money. Now, when you come to that point where your liabilities, they are growing more than your assets, it is a very clear indication that you are not working towards financial fitness. There are lots of people who have found themselves in this place. I personally have found myself in this place some years ago, and I didn't know what I got myself involved in until my chartered accountant pointed it out. Those days, I just noticed that I was earning, but at the end of the month, I'm not able to give account of it. I don't even know how the money was going. All I know is that as soon as money comes to me like this, it goes into several things, So at the end of the day, I'm left with nothing. I was always left with nothing. I was earning good, but way before the month comes to an end, I was already left with nothing. But when my CA pointed it out, it made me to understand the mistakes that I was making. So I decided to identify those things that are liabilities for me and those things that were assets. And I discovered that my liabilities, they were way more than my income and my assets. So I decided to make amendments. In the same way, I want to encourage you, if you want to work towards financial fitness, that's something you must do. You need to identify your liability and identify your assets. It will go a very long way to help you. Another sign, the third sign that you are not working towards financial freedom, is when you have only one channel of income. Now, this is very important because if all you have is just one channel of income, hear me, you can never experience that balance in your financial life. It's that simple. The reason is because one channel of income is not enough to sustain you. There is a whole lot that you need to do. You have responsibilities, family responsibilities, they are there. Your own personal responsibilities, they are there. If you are going to be able to achieve most of these responsibilities, then you need more than one channel of income. So that's something that you need to work on. Don't be among those people who just decide to just go with just one channel of income and they are okay with it. They don't want to do anything about it. In fact, when you even speak about it, they tell you they don't have time. Some of them, they tell you that it's hard work, that they are okay with where they are. You see that now? As long as it is one channel of income, you are taking a big risk. It is an obvious indication that you are not working towards financial fitness, and ultimately you will not enjoy financial freedom. Now, the fourth sign that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you spend money on the things that you don't need. Listen, my friend, if you are in the habit of spending money on the things that you don't need, hear me, you will end up in a lot of financial difficulties in the long run. The reason is because with such a habit, you put yourself in a place where you will never be able to grow financially. Money is not meant to be spent on things that you don't need. If you want to spend money, you must learn to spend money wisely. So for that reason, you need to work on that area. Make a conscious decision from henceforth that you will not spend money on the things that you don't need. Look back into your life, review your spendings so far, and just see for yourself, what are those things that you've spent money on over the years, over the months, that you were not supposed to spend money on. There are certain things that are currently in your possession that shouldn't be in your possession, at least not at this point. Maybe you are listening to me right now and you are using a mobile phone that is very, very expensive, and yet you are not earning good, and yet you don't have an investment of that amount that you used buying that phone. That has to be worked on. Look out for those things that you've spent money on that you didn't really need. Get rid of them. If possible, go ahead and sell those things. It might not look as though this is a wise thing to do, but when you sell those things, you can now put that money in a place where it will multiply. You must never forget that money is not meant to just be spent like that. Money is meant to be multiplied. As long as you are not multiplying the money that is coming to you, you will never be rich. It is a very simple truth. So that's something that you need to work on. The fifth sign that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you are spending your salary before it comes, when your paycheck is gone before it comes. There are lots of people today who are in the habit of, having to borrow money way before their paycheck comes. Sometimes it's not like maybe they really want to do that, but the situation that they find themselves at that point, it makes them to go ahead to just spend the money ahead of time. But you see, no matter how genuine your reason may be for spending your paycheck ahead of time, you must understand that it is not a good practice. Anyone who is into such practice will end up being poor. It's very simple, because way before you receive an income, you have spent it. And in most cases, you will end up even spending more than that. When you are involved in this kind of habit, you cannot save, you cannot budget, and you will never be able to invest or multiply your income. So if you find yourself walking in that path, you need to retrace your steps now. Do everything you can to retrace your steps now so that it doesn't get too late. Now, the sixth signs that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you are spending on things that you didn't plan for. Remember, the first one I spoke about is when you are spending on things that you don't need. There's a difference between when you are spending money on things that you don't need and when you are spending money on things you didn't plan for. I call this impulsive spending. That moment where maybe you went to the mall with a friend and suddenly you saw this nice bag, and from the house, you didn't plan that you were going to buy something like that. But suddenly, just because you liked it, you decided to put money there. No matter how much it's going to cost you just want to get the bag. When you find yourself that you are spending like this, you are walking in this path, hear me, you are in trouble. You need to retrace your step, because a man or woman with such an attitude cannot go far in his finances. You will always end up being broke, because you will always find yourself spending on things that you didn't plan for. This is why budgeting is very, very good. When you have a monthly budget, your expenses will be within that budget, and any other thing that will come in the way that may be something that you like but is not in the budget, you will not go for it, because your budget now has a bigger priority than your passion. You get the point now? So that's something that you need to look out for. Now, the next point here is when you are not saving. If you want to work towards financial fitness, you must learn to save. As long as you are not saving, hear me, it's not possible for you to come to that place of financial fitness or financial freedom. It's not possible. Make no mistakes about it. Do not allow anything or anybody to deceive you, because in the long run, you are just getting money, but you are not keeping any of it aside. I know that sometimes the expenses might be so much that you find it very difficult to save, but you need to start cultivating that habit, no matter how little it may be, because in the long run, the savings will come in handy when you need it most. So that's something that you need to work on. You find yourself not saving at the moment, you need to make that decision and say, I want to save. Not just only a decision, you have to be disciplined about it. You have to be disciplined about it. Now, the next sign that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you are saving without a purpose. This might sound ridiculous, but it's a little like the other one we just spoke about now, when you are not saving. But the thing is, one thing is to be in that place where you are not saving. Another thing is to be in that place where you are saving, but you are saving without a purpose. Let me tell you this. Any savings that you are doing that has no purpose, that has no name, hear me, in the long run, you will end up spending that money. The reason is because before you started the savings, there was no vision, no plan towards that savings. There was no destination. And as long as there was no purpose, hear me, you will abuse that savings. It is that simple. So I want to encourage you to work on this. You've got to make up your mind and say, look, I want to start saving. See, there are several kinds of savings that you should have. There is a savings for retirement. There is a savings for the checking account. That particular account is when your income is coming, that is where it comes. That is where it gets into. From there, you start disbursing. There is a saving for family vacations. There are different kinds of savings. I'm going to be doing a video concerning that, so you just watch out for it. If you really want me to pull out that video as soon as possible, just drop it in the comment and just write savings. I will see it and revert back immediately. But you see, my point is you must save with a purpose in mind. If, for example, you are saving for college expenses, you write it down and say, this is what I'm saving for. If you are saving for marriage, you write it down and say, this is what I'm saving for. Until and unless your savings has a name, you have not started saving. It's a simple truth. So that's something that you need to work on. Now, the 9th signs that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you are paying your bills late. Now, let me tell you something that happened to me 2 years ago. I kept on paying my electricity bill. I kept on paying that bill late. Now, most of the time, it wasn't because the money was not available. The main thing was because I didn't have the time, or rather, I didn't put it as a priority. So whenever I pay the bills late, it always have this extra charge because I came late. And I ended up doing that thing for over 1 year. For 1 year, I kept on paying late, and for each time I pay late, I will receive extra charge for paying late. Guess what? At the end of 1 year, I discovered that I had paid over about $300 just extra because I was paying my bills late. So when you find yourself paying your bills late, you hear me, you are not working towards financial fitness, because that late payment will continue to dip into your income. You start spending and spending extra. So whatever it is, learn to pay on time. Maybe it's your EMI, maybe it's your electricity bill, maybe it's your phone bill. Although this may not be like this in certain nations where you may be watching me from right now, but the place where I stay, the United Arab Emirates, when you make certain payments late, there will be an extra charge, which is normal, which is okay, because that's a way to teach you how to be disciplined with these things. So it's actually a good thing. You get the point now. But then you now have to discipline yourself and say, this is what I must do to avoid late payment. And then finally, the final signs that you are not working towards financial fitness is when you are not improving in your financial knowledge. Like I would always say, and I am not apologetic about this, as long as you are not gaining financial wisdom, gaining financial knowledge on a regular basis, chances are there that you will make poor financial decisions. Chances are there that you will develop poor financial habits. Chances are there that you will never be able to experience that financial freedom. So you have to make a conscious decision to step up, to increase in your financial knowledge. Create the time for it. Don't say, oh, I'm so busy. Create the time for it. If possible, go as far as investing in it. As an individual, I spent a lot of money to learn about finances. That is the greatest wealth that you can actually have. A man with financial knowledge will always conquer financially. It's a very, very clear principle. So I want to encourage you today to take advantage of this information that I've given to you and make amends. Those areas where you know that, okay, you are defaulting, make a conscious decision that you're going to work on it. It is that simple. When you work on it, you will see your life begin to improve. It may not immediately show, but it will eventually begin to show that your financial knowledge is affecting your pockets. So these are the few things that I wanted to share with you. There are more, but these are the few things that I just felt they were very important. If I have left some out, or you know of some other signs that I did not mention here, please kindly state in the comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if there is any part of the video that has resonated with you, don't forget to drop a comment. I will revert back to you as quickly as possible. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell button so that you get notification. Like this video, please. I need you to like this video, and don't forget, and this is very important, share with your family, share with your friends. They need this information. The more we dish out this information, the more people are going to come out of poverty. So get ready to crack the money code, because with this information that I've given to you now, I'm telling you, you will do big things in your finances. Until I speak to you again, keep cracking the money code.